I've already set the mock draft simulator up. I got a post Super Bowl mock. I'm really excited about my work. I'm really excited about this work. And this will also be just another way to get you guys familiar with prospects. Now, quick recap of the Super Bowl. I honestly think that it was a great game. I thought that both teams played well. I thought that, like I said on Twitter, y'all make sure y'all follow me on Twitter. I give Philly fans the same energy that they give me. And one thing that I said was like, hey, this defense is good, but we got to slow down on some of the historic talk, some of the, you know, the sack numbers were kind of inflated because you're playing bad quarterbacks. You're playing schemes that kind of fit what Philly likes to do. When they played Dak, it was kind of rough, especially on the back end. And that's what you saw. Andy Reid was kind of able to. There was no kind of. Andy Reid was able to use pre-snap motion, stress those guys out, make those guys communicate on the back end, and they had no answer. And it was interesting to see just how they try to take away the middle of the field. Cool. And they weren't able to do that because when they did that, Pat, Andy, Juju Smith-Schuster, shout out to Jeff Kavanaugh with this guy Sky Moore. They just played on the edges. And they just went quick game and they made them adjust to motion. Just a simple fly motion. They ran GT off of fly motion. They ran all these. I know I know you guys came for the mock draft, but this is just a little scheme talk. They did all those different things, and it was just eye candy to see how Philly would handle it on the back end, and Philly had no answer. Again, pass rush is great against bad QBs. Pass rush is null and void against QBs who can play on time, play with certain rhythm. And it wasn't just like Mahomes is obviously historically great. He is. But Dak was able to do kind of the same thing. And people will say, well, Jalen Hurts didn't play that game. No, he didn't. And Jalen Hurts played very well. But that defense was still intact. And, they were missing two starters. Well, they were missing two starters, but they also were missing no starters yesterday, and it was just as bad. So, again, shout out to both teams. They made it. I'm not going to be a hater, but at the same time, I'm also not as sold on that Philly defense as everybody was, and they got exposed yesterday. Now, on to the draft. 2 minutes of recapping the Super Bowl, but this is a post-Super Bowl mock. I got the simulator up, and we're going to draft, okay? We're going to get right into it. We're going to see what the draft brings for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, my last draft, I went O-line. I want to try something different with this pick. Oh, let me see what's going on. Okay, here we go. I want to try something different with this pick and kind of try to attack it in a different way. So off the board early, let's look at it. So as we're looking at just how the board is falling, and Dallas is picking at pick 26, we kind of see, okay, cool. So let's go over here. And just a quick recap, you guys who have been with me on these mocks, you see how I do it. Zach Harrison goes early. I don't know about that one. But if the Bears are forced to stick in there and pick, this is a pick that could easily happen. Tyree Wilson comes off the board at number 4. Jalen Carter, which if he goes to Seattle, I think that will really upgrade that defense. Let's scoot on down. Will Levis ends up at the Commanders. That's a very realistic pick. Cam Smith, somebody who I really like out of South Carolina, really nice corner, ends up going to the Steelers. That's such a Steelers pick. Devin Witherspoon helping upgrade that back end of Detroit, who could definitely use some upgrading, more or less. I really would like that pick for them. Detroit is right there. All right. What do we have on the board? And the best tight end available, I'm not sure about that. Jahmyr Gibbs is on the board. That would definitely be worth having a conversation. I mean, you guys know how I feel about Gibbs. If you watched my last video on the running back, you guys know how I feel about Jahmyr Gibbs. One of my other guys are here. His name is Jackson Smith-Njigba, somebody who people may look at and say the speed is not great. But I look at the route running and I say the route running is outstanding. The separation is outstanding. Now, the injury history we need to learn, we need to know. But a true weapon outside of CeeDee Lamb. I love Ohio State receivers simply because of Brian Hartline. He brings those guys coming to the league ready to go. And then we got another Pat cat of mine, O'Cyrus Torrence. Now, people are torn on Torrence, but me, I think he would instantly upgrade the middle of this offensive line. And we see how Philly was able to win they were able to keep Jalen Hurts so clean. That offensive line was just outstanding. Now free agency, they got to draft well because they aren't going to be able to pay all those guys. But that offensive line, and then when I say all those guys, the whole team, they got some things going to free agency. But so they got to hit in the draft. Dallas hits very well in the draft, so I'm not worried about Dallas in the draft. But I think having a dominant O line just allows you to do so much, especially when you have a good quarterback. And looking down the board, we see some other players that I like. But for me, I went O-line in the last draft. Let's change the line of thinking here. We're going to go Jackson Smith-Njigba for a few reasons. Our O-line was right there. But there were times last year where you needed just some more juice. You just needed somebody else to win. And I think that what Jackson Smith-Njigba will bring opposite or in the slot, because I do think that he can actually graduate to being a player that can play on the edge just because his feet are that good. He always has a plan, which is why, you see Bob Stern tweeting about Jackson Smith, and he's right. He's so smooth as a route runner, and he has a plan. It's very Keenan Allen-esque, but I think he has dare I say, a better body than Keenan Allen. He's a little bit thicker than Keenan Allen, where he can just run every route in the route tree, and that means a lot. And so he's going to come in. He's going to come in pro ready. The hands are exceptional. I think that if you bring him in opposite of CeeDee Lamb or just an ace, a Robin of CeeDee Lamb, because CeeDee Lamb is entering that rare space as a receiver, just keeps getting better and better and better. You bring him in with CeeDee Lamb. Now this offense is cooking. Now you have real juice. All right, here we go. Drew Sanders goes off the board to the Patriots. Such a Patriots pick. Just such a Patriots pick. And I love Drew Sanders. And this is, you love to hear these stories. He's sitting on the bench at Alabama. He was an edge player at Alabama. Sitting on the bench at Alabama, transfers to Arkansas. They put him in the middle of that defense. He's going to be a first or second round pick. You love to hear those stories about guys who just work their tail off, go somewhere else, get the film, and they end up getting the exposure that they need. So Drew Sanders is a name that he could end up in one of these first round mocks for me. But I'm going to go somewhere different here. So we still have some really nice pieces on the board. Dalton Kincaid is somebody, but I like Ferguson. You even heard Kelsey talk about Ferguson. I thought that was dope just to hear what Kelsey had to say about Ferguson. I like Cedric Tillman. Obviously, we just went receiver, so we're not going to do that. But I said O-line. And if I'm looking at John Michael Schmitz and he's staring me at the board, and he's staring at me and he's still on the board, and I would have to have a conversation about him, Tyjae Spears, and Noah Sewell. Running back, the Cowboys may say we're not going to make the same mistake twice. We're going to go in the direction of Tony Pollard. Tony's our guy. That's who we're gonna lean on Tony. They may not want to look at running back that early. Now, I've been consistent. There's three guys who could come in and make a huge difference. Gibbs, Bijan, and Tyjae Spears. They're outstanding running backs who will make a difference day one, game one, and really help you. But I just think that if you had John Michael Schmitz come in, he would instantly be an upgraded guard. Tyler Smith stays at tackle. And he can also play center if need be, if something happens to Biotish. And he is just a nasty, physical son of a gun. I'm not going to curse. I'm just not going to curse. Sometimes someone will slip out. But I'm not going to curse because foots is foots. I'm me, and I don't have to do that. I will say this. If you get a chance to get John Michael Schmitz on your offensive line, sign me up. We also got to think about this is Mike McCarthy's last run. He needs guys plug, play, who are going to give him instant return, right? Now your offensive line is dominant. Connor Williams is in and he played actually pretty well this year for the Dolphins. Connor Williams, you stay where you are. Connor McGovern, you stay as a swing backup guard, fullback in certain situations. I don't know if Mike McCarthy will do that, but Mike McCarthy's drafting. This is his last hoorah. This is his last crack at it because I believe that if he doesn't get it done this year, they're going to give the team to Dan Quinn. He's going to get the offensive guys in that he needs. I think the defense can hold up, and we can play ball control football. score the football, run the ball down people's throats. This is about running the ball. This is about having another weapon. We have specific needs on this team, and I think that you hit both of them. We are going to draft John Michael Schmitz. 2-round mock draft is completed. Jackson Smith-Njigba, John Michael Schmitz, 2 players from the Big Ten who I think will come in, give you instant help. You don't need much. This team doesn't need much, but they will come and give you instant help, and I think that they would at least give you a shot to kind of get over the hump. Cowboys fans, it's your boy Foots. Again, we're not that far off. Combine coming, and before you know it, Dallas will be drafting. Like it, time is flying. The way time is moving, before you know it, Dallas will be drafting. You guys stay with me throughout the whole draft process. You guys know how much I care about this process. It's your boy Foots. Thank you guys for always liking, sharing, and subscribing. Peace. Oh, and by the way, real quick, if you guys haven't, make sure that you guys subscribe to my music channel, Foots Times Codes. We just released some cool covers. I play like 20 seconds of each of those. Well, I won't play like 20 seconds of each of those because you guys should just go subscribe because you guys should know we got booked for a really big show in D.C. So you guys come check me out. Again, Foots Times Codes, I put it on the screen. The covers that we've been releasing have been really, really cool. And then we're actually working on the album as well. So I'm just working really, really hard. Y'all see the stew. Y'all see what's going on. Like, we're not playing.